We're so focused on weight that almost all new cross-country and mountain bike releases are already single pivot. Many bikes look alike, but what happens if for a moment we set aside that obsession with weight and go looking for the best possible riding experience?
Yeah. It doesn't look muddy, but it's packed. It's a river. It's messed up. Whew. That's virtual pivot traction for you. Whew. How does it grip? Yes. Well, with this, it's like cheating, huh?
Oh, really?
It looks like you're on the Nubel Quinton. There are already too many obstacles.
The construction differences between the two systems are obvious. In the single pivot, there's only one pivot point. Then we have a rear triangle with flex in the seat stays, and a single link that simply follows the movement of the rear triangle. However, in the virtual pivot, like this DW link from Pivot, what we have is a completely solid rear triangle with no part of the triangle itself flexing. And the movement of the virtual pivot is achieved thanks to the action of the two links, one at the bottom and one at the top.
Straight, theoretically. Let's see how it is. It's broken. What? Do you hit it from the right? I hit it from the left. Woo! Woo! Oh wow! Ha 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 ha! Ha! Woo! Hey, and without insurance, huh?
Huh? The virtual pivot's complex structure enables a suspension platform with unmatched handling. The rear wheel stays glued to the ground at all times. You feel an incredible grip, and you can pedal flat out without affecting the suspension's performance.
Woo! Watch your head. Let's see. I'm going to try. Careful, careful. This has a low gear. Oh my God. Well, this is the magic of the virtual pivot, right? It's how the rear wheel stays glued to the ground. It's a clear example of how a frame with some extra weight, which we might think is a disadvantage, at a very technical moment actually helps us. Even in a race, in certain circumstances, it can help leave competitors behind.
The question is obvious. If this system works so well, why is the virtual pivot almost extinct in cross-country? It has two main drawbacks, with weight being the most significant. In the end, we have more bearings, two linkages in this case, both made of aluminum, and we're talking about an increase of approximately 300 to 400 grams per frame compared to a modern single pivot. And on the other hand, there's maintenance, which might not be a big concern for some people, but since there are more pivot points and more complexity, we're always going to have a bit higher maintenance costs.
Wow, this thing really grips the ground. It's like driving a Dakar rally car. It's brutal, but at the same time it's smooth. It just soaks everything up no matter how hard you push it. Wow, there's a big rock there. Oh.
Those 400 grams are a lot. It depends, because one thing is clear, the more complicated the terrain gets, the more it makes sense to have a virtual pivot. I'm not just talking about descent. On climbs, it also provides traction you can't get with a current single pivot.
Whoa, what happened? No, you were doing fine, huh? Damn, you were about to go over the handlebars. They made a chicken line over here, I think. Let's see. Woo! Incredible. Woo! It does it all. Haha, amazing. The bike handles everything.
You don't have to do anything, just
Let go of the brakes.
and go straight ahead.
Now, after the fact, you realize how dangerous it was. No.
No. It was very dangerous.
Man, it's basically a gravel bike.
No, I just lost my mind. I went really fast there. Worst part is I forget I'm on a hardtail and it doesn't absorb the same. I'm bouncing everywhere.
Yeah, man, in the end, the difference between this one and that one comes down to having fun or suffering.
And now let's talk specifically about this pivot match for SL, because it's not all about the suspension system. Geometry matters a lot, and in this case I really love the geometry of this bike. 66 degrees of head angle, which gives you a lot of stability on fast descents, combined with a dramatic top tube slope and a compact wheelbase, which allows you to turn the bike with agility in any situation. The suspension system may look a lot like the one on the BMC 4-stroke or the Mondraker F Podium, but in reality the geometry is the opposite. Those two brands, for example, have very long progressive geometries. However, Pivot chooses to keep it different.
The whole bike is very compact, and this really helps a lot when maneuvering through very tight corners.
Now take a look at the top tube, which for me is a key feature on mountain bikes because of the path that this top tube follows. From the head tube going down quite directly and steeply until it meets the seat tube, it creates a space where we can maneuver very well, even allowing you to move your knee over the frame if necessary in some extreme turns. And this, together with that compact geometry, gives the bike an incredible maneuverability, and also in terms of aesthetics, it's always a great feature that the seat stays follow the same line as the top tube, because it just looks right. Look, with the seat post lowered all the way, it gives you almost a Deer Park bike feeling, super maneuverable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. The new Maven, man. No, sorry, Maven. Motif. They're great, yeah. Finally, they don't use that dot fluid.
Seriously?
Of course, and they feel amazing.
Damn.
Yeah, SRAM heard our prayers. No, they're awesome, huh? And now it's over with the thing about having an advantage. Yeah, there's no need to use SRAM drivetrains or Shimano brakes anymore.
Let's revisit the topic of weight, since there are nuances to discuss, and focusing only on the overall number often isn't fair. Why? Well, because I think there are two types of weight: useful weight and useless weight. The useful weight would be those extra 300 or 400 grams that we have to pay for carrying this more complex system, which gives us a better riding experience. Useless weight is anything we can change on a top-of-the-line bike like this to lower its factory weight of 11.2 kilos. If we start with something much more competitive compared to the top-of-the-line single pivot bikes we have today, okay, I see it very clearly. For example, this seat post with so much travel, the wireless one from RockShox weighs almost 700 grams, it's not necessary. There are seat posts on the market that weigh half as much, okay? There are slimmer options for this saddle on the market. We can also replace it no matter how comfortable it is. Let's not even talk about the possibility of installing a handlebar, a one-piece carbon cockpit, and greatly reducing the weight of this aluminum stem and handlebar. And on the other hand, even if it doesn't add a lot of weight, I think it doesn't make sense to have a flight attendant system on a bike like this. Flight attendant hides all the weaknesses of a single pivot system by giving you that middle propedal setting. These bikes, the DW Link works great, both open and closed. You don't need anything else. Therefore, flight attendant, no matter how little weight it adds, honestly doesn't bring me anything in terms of riding. Well, I'm convinced that if we made all those changes, or basically if we took one of the models lower down in the Pivot catalog that don't have some of these things I've mentioned, we'd be getting the bike down to 10.5 kilos. That's compared to an Anthem, one of the lightest single pivot bikes currently on the market and the latest release. We'd be looking at an overall weight difference from bike to bike of about 800 grams. Those 800 grams make a significant difference for a competitor focused on performance. Maybe they make sense now. When we add all the riding advantages that will allow us to perform differently, especially in tough conditions, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. See you soon. Bye bye.